throws it when she bugs it. Yes! Reward when she leaves it alone. So the aim is that my hand is open and she leaves it alone. Good girl! I'll show you a little bit closer. Yes! Yes! Good. Teach him to leave my hand alone. This game is called It's Your Choice. I've got a bunch of kibble in my hand. And I'm going to teach him to make the right choice. And that's basically, I'm going to keep my hand closed, a little bit closer. And if he leaves my hand alone, I'm going to open it. And our aim is that you keep your hand as still as you can. And there. You got bored. Yes! Got a reward him there. Keep the motivation going. What I want is for him to back up and leave my hand alone to show some impulse control. Just because I have food in my hand doesn't mean it's his food. I should not have given him that one. I'm not adding the word yet because I want it to be his choice. That's why this game is called It's Your Choice. It's his choice. So now he's found my treat pouch. Can do the exact same thing. See? Now he's obsessed with that. So that shows that he has no impulse control whatsoever. So if he can't do this with the most basic pieces of kibble, then how is he supposed to be able to control himself around more interesting food or around dogs or toys or something else that's really of interest to him? So I don't want him to go and have self-serve in my treat pouch. So I'm going to show leave it. So I'm going to give him a little verbal to help him out. Hey. Hey. Yes. Until we can get to the stage where he leaves his hand alone. And sometimes that takes quite a while. I want him to be bored with his hand. Yes, and then I mark and I bring it to him to get him to stop going for my hand. Yes, good job, Charlie. Here we go, I got there in the end. So I'm going to put the food on the ground. I'm just going to hold her by the lead. Going to do the same thing. Wait. Yeah. Same thing. Leave it. Yes. And then I feed from my pouch. Good. Good girl. Nice. Leave it. Yes. Good girl. Nice. Work. Good girl. Okay. Yes. Okay. You can have them. Okay. Nice work. Good girl. Okay. Yeah. So recap session. Can you leave it alone? Yes. Oh. No. Yes. So now I'm going to add the word leave it, and I'm going to put the treat on the ground, cover it with my foot, and I'll do the exact same thing except with my foot, and I reward always from my hand, because whatever is on the floor, we don't want the dog to eat that. It might be like a chicken bone or a fish head or a piece of rubbish. So there. Just have to hold them back for a minute. Ready? Leave it. Leave it. Yes! Good. So it's uncovered. Leave it. Leave. Leave it. Yes, buddy. Good job. Leave. Leave. Yes! Nice work. Leave it. Yes! The more tempting the treats on the ground, the harder this becomes. Good job. Leave it. Leave. Yes. Yes. Leave it. Yes, good boy. Nice. Leave. So here I'm doing the food claiming exercise, and the aim is that I can put the bowl on the ground with food in it without her going for it. So this is not necessarily the same as putting the food bowl down and the dog waiting for food. This is saying to the dog, whatever's in my hand is mine and you don't get to have it. So at the moment it's a takeaway container with some kibble in it, but this could be a plate of pizza that I want to put down on the coffee table, or anything really that is just not for the dog. So I'm using my body language to tell the dog, no, that's mine. And this is after I've taught them a leave it and the it's your choice game. So if you haven't checked out those videos, make sure you go check that out first. And in a minute, I am going to show you with Charlie, the Dachshund, who is having a much harder time of this game than Koko has. Alright, Charlie's up, and I did speed this video up because otherwise it takes forever. Because Charlie learns a lot slower than Koko, and that's okay. I think it's cool to see the different styles a dog learns, because they're the same age, they got them at the same time, they're just different characters, right? So every time I put down a bowl and he goes forward to the bowl, I block him with my body. He then sniffs the floor, and because he's trying to avoid the correction that was, right, back him up. And as you can see, I'm not putting that bowl down. The moment he even moves towards that bowl, I'm correcting him. Yeah, so don't go straight away putting that bowl down if your dog is already moving forward, if you can't even get past your knee. So that is super important. Do not put that bowl down until your dog is actually waiting. You will see him do it in a minute. I held a little bit of leash pressure there because I wanted to give him a successful rep. If you too often correct without them getting a reward in between, the dog loses motivation. So I want to keep them, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere that we want. Yeah, so, oh, correct. I'm not putting that ball down until he gives me my space. Back him up again. See how much longer this takes than Koko? Here you go. And I'm rewarding him now, probably. I feel like I should have rewarded him. So that's cool to see. This is why you video your sessions. You see that you don't always do what you should be doing when you're in the moment. And that's all good. It's reflecting good. Yeah, so I want that bowl to be like off limits for him. It's like, there you go. He's finally starting to show a bit of respect around what's mine. And again, whatever is in the bowl is depending on your dog. Like, we're starting off with boring kibble because that's already hard enough for him, but we can replace that with more tempting food, or if you have a dog that loves balls or certain toys, you can do that with that as well. This is not just a food related exercise. So yeah, now we're just gonna keep repeating this with Charlie until he really gets the hang of it. I also do this as a precursor to any dog that's reactive. So, doing the same thing, but with a higher value treat. And different dog. Ready, Koko? Good girl. You got this straight away, huh? Okay, try again. Good job, buddy. Nice. Right, so the next step in the food claiming exercise is to put the bowl on the ground, walk straight at it, and teach the dog that they have to go around it, not stick their nose in it. And you can do this with toys, food, other dogs, people. I do this with every dog that's overexcited about something or reactive, just to teach them how to get away and not just walk straight at something, right? So it's important that you keep yourself always as a barrier between the dog and the trigger. In this case is the container with food. Yeah, so I did a poor job at it there, but then I blocked back in and said, no, you can't have that. Yeah, sometimes I need to show you the poor versions too. So you know what not to do. So here we go with Charlie. So I'm blocking him. There we go. We're going around. So that's me taking leadership of the situation there, right? I'm going, no, you don't need to be involved with this. Move away. There we go. And obviously with a small dog, my body language can be quite small. If he was a bigger dog, I would possibly have to show a bit more oomph when it comes to that. But you have your own dog to apply this to. So just go as you need to. And we just keep repeating that. Pick up the ball every now and then so it becomes interesting, and reward when they don't show interest in it. Alrighty, this exercise, I love it. Yeah, it's just super simple, teaching your dog a recall of food. So basically you're practicing a recall and impulse control. So you walk towards the food bowl, and when they spot the food, you walk backwards enthusiastically and you call your dog back and you reward. To supercharge this, I would recommend that the food in the bowl is not as interesting as what you have in your hand. And then it kind of becomes like, look at the broccoli in the bowl, I have chocolate. Well, if it was me, I'd rather have the chocolate, right? So that means the dog wants to come back to you instead. And you just then repeat that, and then you keep adding the value of what's in the bowl, because obviously it's a lot harder to call off when there's a chicken wing in there than it is a boring piece of kibble. So yeah, go and have a play with that. And once you have covered that, we have another recall game with food. And then the next step is to try and recall your dog past food. So you put a bowl off center, put your dog in a stay or a sit, and then call him past the bowl of food. And again, you can really play with this, put more exciting food in the bowl, put the bowl closer to the center line. Like the closer they come to it, the harder it is, right? And that's just a really good way to teach your dog to ignore exciting stuff. And we can, again, replace food by toys, by other dogs, by people, to just teach him, ignore that, and come back to me. So this is a really cool 2-in-1 exercise to practice impulse control and your recall all at the same time. Initially, you do this on lead. And then when you get more trust with your dog, you drop the lead. So you can still correct if necessary, and then when that goes well, you take the lead off and you recall them away and past it without a lead on. Like that's the end goal, right? So yeah, I really enjoy doing this exercise. Dogs usually get pretty excited about it as well, and gives you a good few success moments. Alright, with this game we are working on a more advanced leave it, because we are now dropping food and it has more movement and it's bouncing a little bit. So I'm going to drop a piece of kibble and tell her leave it, and then she gets a reward from my hand for leaving it alone. So this is a really good one to start practicing. Really basic. Don't start throwing and tossing heaps at once, because your dog is going to fail. But this is where we teach a dog to leave things that just fall, like from the kitchen counter and all that kind of stuff, that just because it drops on the ground doesn't mean they get to act like a vacuum and just vacuum it up, like lots of dogs would do if you drop a piece of chicken or mushrooms when you're cooking or whatever. So
key element here is to
Good
take your time.
girl.
Make sure your dog is on a leash. If you take that leash off from the get-go, you are going to fail, right? And then you can build this up to tossing it more wildly, to tossing more interesting food,
Good.
or by slowly taking your dog's lead off, right? Or what I do with my dogs, you don't see that here, is I actually toss it at them and it lands on them. And yeah, that way I really teach them to hold their position. It's all about impulse control, right? It's just about teaching the dog to control themselves, and then they get a reward afterwards. And if they cannot do that with food, then how are they supposed to do that with other things that are exciting?
Yes. Good boy. Leave it. Yes. Good job. Leave. Sit. Sit, long boy. Thank you. Leave. Good boy. Yes. Home straight.
I hope this video was helpful to you and you can make a really great start with your impulse control journey. If you liked it, hit subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you next time. Thanks!